Well, hi everybody. This is Tim Mai. I have my friend and my love coach, Cary Valentine, on the line with us today. Cary, would you like to say hi to everybody?
Aloha, everyone. Great to be here. Great to connect up with you again, Tim.
Awesome. Aloha to you, Cary, and to everybody. Right. So I met Cary a few months ago. And I was at an event of all like amazing coaches, and Cary really shined from a lot of other coaches. He had a book. It's actually coming out here soon, and I saw the title of the book, and it just totally turned me on. The title of the book is In Love Forever. And when I saw that, I was like, man, that's amazing. That's what I want. So like, that's what I want for my relationship with my wife. My wife and I have been together since high school. We started dating in junior year of high school, and we've been married for almost 10 years now. And, just like most couples, I mean, we have challenges in our relationship. And I'm really proud that the fact that she's my high school sweetheart. And so it's a relationship that I want to have forever. Like, that's not a relationship that, that I want to, that someday would end and I would be with another person. Not only because it's special that it's, that we've been together for so long, but also it's that, when I marry, my wife's name is Frances. So when I married Frances, I made that commitment that I would love her and honor her for for all the days of my life, right? So that's like for the rest of my life. So for me, it's not really a choice anymore whether or not I want to be with her or a certain day that I want to be with her or not. It's really a commitment to loving her. And so I say to myself, well, if I'm going to be with Frances and if I'm going to love her, then I might as well have like an awesome relationship, right? A relationship that I'm always in love with her, not just when we're in high school and or in college, but like having that kind of, Cary, you call them juicy relationships, right?
Yes.
Yes, that joyous, juicy relationship. So when I saw Cary's book, I was like, man, I have to talk to him. So Cary and I started talking, and then I also scheduled a coaching session with Cary as well, and we went to work on the areas, the challenges that I'm having in my relationship, and out of that conversation, I decided to like play games in my relationship with Frances. So I play a game of doing something romantic for her, like every single day. So like one day I'll go and buy her some flowers or get some wild roses out in the park. It's just wildflowers. And next day I would, like give her a massage, or just, out of nowhere, just text her, hey, I'm thinking about you. I love you. And in playing those games, I mean, it just keeps our relationship alive. It makes our relationship so much more fun. And even when we do have fights, like we snap out of it so much quicker than what it used to be. And so I'm really excited, Cary, to have you on the line with us today. Before we go into our interview for today here, and I just want to ask, the folks like watching this video is, are you someone who wants to have an amazing relationship, like have a juicy, joyous relationship, and that you're committed to that? Or are you someone that just wants to be okay with your relationship and keep the challenges, keep the struggle that you have in your relationship, right? Because if you are so if you're number two, like if you're someone who just want to be okay with your relationship, like this interview is probably not for you. This interview is more for people who are committed and dedicated to having an amazing relationship. Having the love of your dreams, having the relationship of your dreams. And so that's what this interview is about. So with that, Cary, welcome.
All right. That was awesome, Tim. That's great.
Yes, and thank you so much for being here today.
You got it.
Yes, and yeah, as we get to, as I got to know you more, I know that you have been a lifelong learner, experimenter, right?
Yeah. Who's born with the love manual already instated? None of us.
Exactly.
It's a learned
right?
process.
Yes, and so let's start with Cary. If you can share with everybody a little bit of about your story of how you came about being so dedicated to learn about love and and became a love coach.
Sure. Great question, Tim. I would say it began from as a young, person. I always had a desire in seeking, happiness, in seeking or maybe a more spiritual happy path. And all I ever was miserable because, I had a really strong negative tape running in my head. It's always was chattering, you're not something enough. You're not good enough. You're, things like that, even when I was a younger person. And it continued throughout my adult life. And, I went through different relationships, and yet, kind of met, the love of my life, when I was pretty young. I was at Berklee College of Music in Boston, and, Wendy was a musician as well. And we connected up. We were great friends. We became yoga teachers, massage therapists. We ran a health retreat in Colorado. And then everything out of nowhere, apparently, it seemed, just fell apart. Like it wasn't through fighting or anything. It just, our relationship was on the brink of divorce. And it was dried up. And then we were like, we really cared for each other. And so it was like, what's going on here? And what we found through the digging, Tim, was that there was a lot of fears, insecurities, a lot of things at that point, even though we were together at that point for 13 years, we weren't sharing with each other. And weren't so transparent. So we learned that, and we learned to go deeper and trust that. And that got really exciting to go to those places we were scared to go before. And got some assistance through, other people's who are already further along the path than us. And then we turned our relationship around. And in that, we turned our own personal lives around. And that was really empowering, because to be more in love with another, you got to be more in love with yourself. So it's really, an amazing, awesome journey that way. And then, and then Wendy and I continued, and we, were together for 24 years. And why I say together, because just last year, after a 2-year kind of odyssey with a brain tumor, Wendy passed on. So it really put me through a lot, and I learned a lot. And at the same time, Tim, to get through the grief of Wendy passing, the tools that we worked on, the tools that I share with folks really helped me kind of honor and grieve relatively quickly, and then get, from that, I got just so excited because I realized life is so precious. And none of us know when the time of the hourglass is going to end. So let's get on it. Let's not waste a day, because it's not coming back. And that really turned things around, and that brought my dedication to help people even more, and got more passionate about it. So, yeah.
That's awesome. And I love that, taking your own challenges and working through that. And I know you share with me, you guys spent many years, really, intensively working on that. And then take what you've learned and take what worked for you and Wendy, and share that with others. That's just really awesome and really generous of you. So thank you for doing that.
Oh, you got it, Tim.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, depending on how long this video is going to go, chances are we'll probably break this video in 3 different segments, 3 different videos for the folks. So, and so we'll see how this goes, and we'll decide later on about that. what would you say are the top three things that, a lot of couples are dealing with? What are the top three challenges in a relationship?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I would say they come down to communication as one big heading, finances and dealing with finances as another, and then intimacy, and the intimacy and the communication are somewhat related. And in a sense, the finances are related. And so when we really get down to this, it has a lot to do with communication and expressing your needs, desires, and wants, and having your partner do the same, and then having a format in a way where you can express everything you want to and really be heard from one another. And that is the cool thing that I'll share about maybe in a moment, of how to argue and be more in love after the end of the argument than you were at the beginning of it.
I love that. How to argue and be more in love, right? Because I know there are times when we're arguing, it's like she's just not listening.
I'm getting out of this thing.
Right. So, and I can totally see what you're talking about, with the thing that really killed most couples or have, break the relationship. Money is definitely a huge one. Communication is definitely a huge one, and intimacy is a huge one.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And so, So what, on the other opposite side of that is what would you call a juicy, joyous relationship?
Yeah, that's a great piece too. One where both individuals in the relationship are really dedicated to taking themselves on, meaning to improve themselves on a consistent basis and really desire that from their heart. And they want to improve themselves, putting the responsibility on themselves, and then from there desiring for the relationship to get better, caring for the other almost more than you care for yourself, in a sense, and from that it's this give and take. And from there, and deepening the core of your heart and learning to each turn your heart and your heads on. And then from there, that creates, sharing your dreams, your passions, your goals, and it deepens your intimacy into me, you see. Like your verbal and communicative intimacy, and in many couples that I assist with, they find that their physical intimacy also deepens, and that gets really exciting for both parties, and that's a whole piece too, to learn how to really care and please each other more, and that's a lot of fun, actually.
Yes, that is. Now, how do you deal with, what if one person in the relationship wants to have a joyous, juicy relationship, what you're describing, and the other party doesn't seem to have any interest?
Yes.
How do you deal with that? I mean, is this something that you can do with the present partner, is this something that you have to go find a new partner to do this?
Go trade one in, right? But make sure you have your receipt.
Just in case.
Yes, you can do it. And especially you can do it with someone who may not be so willing at first. You make as long as one person in the relationship is excited and dedicated to say, I want to turn this relationship around. Then you learn some techniques, you learn some secrets, you learn some tools, and you start incorporating them. For instance, again, you care for your partner more than you care for yourself. So you start doing things like you said earlier, Tim, like you did one romantic thing for your partner every day. So you would, pay attention to their interests, their likes, and you attend to them. You do something of that nature each day, or say something really caring and really kind to them each day. And you see over, let's say, a 30-day period, see what's happening. You can go out and do a great surprise, like just say, honey, we're going out to dinner, tonight you've been cooking or whatever so much, or, I recognize that we've both been busy so much. I really want to go and have a weekend getaway, and you can have a weekend at a fair. Sparking up an affair in a relationship is a wonderful way to reignite in a relationship that's kind of fizzled out, And so you do many different things. You can also, if your communication isn't working, you can also write a letter to your partner and share your heart, how much you really want to turn the relationship around, and you take responsibility for things. You don't blame the other. And you go through this process and you ask them repeatedly, is this at the level you want the relationship to be? Now, or, you ask that maybe at the beginning, you go for 2 weeks, really trying something new each day. See how much that person is transforming. If they're getting wind to, this is getting exciting. Like, this is interesting that you're paying attention to me. See what they're doing. And then ask them again, is this at the level? Do you want more? And essentially, at the end of the day, if after you've tried all different kinds of things, or maybe you get to a point of maybe we do need some assistance as well, whether, beyond just going out on the date, beyond just, doing a weekend getaway, having, that affair, and continuing that. And, there's some great tips I'd love to share with folks about that, or getting some assistance through a coach, or getting counseling, any of that. And if at the end, your partner is like, no, like stuck in the same place they were at the beginning, then you have a choice to make. You have a choice to make, is this relationship meeting you? No matter what, like regardless of the security or the situation with family or children, you gotta really care for you as the individual, because that's the foundation for it all. And so if the answer is that, you're really not happy with the way things are and you have given it a shot, then it's time to explore. Maybe this relationship either takes a break and, quote unquote, a separation. And that may be the straw that breaks, the piece to go deeper and find that love again, and they reawaken the care for one another. And if it's still not, then it is kind of a time to move on and say, I really want that love in my life because I know I can have it. And, it's the way it goes sometimes, but it doesn't have to be. That's the cool thing. Like the piece that brought the couple together in the first place. Think about this.
Right.
What were the kind of things you did? What were the kind of movies you went to? The music? What was your favorite song, your relationship song? What did you do on those dates? Remember back to when you first got together and rekindle that. And explore that and talk to your partner about like, yeah, you used to bring me flowers, or you used to pay more attention to me. Where has that gone? Wouldn't you want that? And if they're just like, nah, not interested. Okay, well, that is your choice. And do you realize if you express that? Do you realize if, you continue this way, that's not the way I want to continue my relationship in my life, then I may need to look on and go somewhere else and find a new partner. And you be honest, but not in a blaming way, not in yelling and screaming, just actually from a caring heart, Tim. Like you just really care for the other, because you go to that deeper place and you go, is this really how you want to live? And that questioning can, really help the person think about that. And again, if that's their answer, yeah, they don't want to transform, then that's their answer.
Right. And a couple of things, but one comes to mind right now. Yesterday, Francis and I go for walks every single day, every morning. And yesterday, we got into a heated discussion. And it's been, it went on it's actually for the last few walks, like it's been sort of going down that road, right? And I just stopped everything and I apologize for, okay, you know what? I'm sorry, like for anything that I've said that hurt you. What I'm committed to is that there's no upset in this walk today, right? And I asked her, like, are you committed to that? Like, no matter how our conversation's gonna go today, that we're gonna, that we're not gonna put any kind of upset in it. And she said yes. And so that just broke out, both of us, it just broke out of that state of mind of blaming and complaining. And he was like, oh, okay, well, that's not the game that we're playing anymore. Like, we're playing this game of no upsets.
Yeah, what a great saying.
And so, definitely, getting the other party to agree to work together and create this great relationship is a really important part of it. And I also understand too, because there are days that where we don't really agree to that. Like there are days I was like, you know what, today I want to have the right to be upset. But I also understand that it's not that the day, I choose that for the day. I just choosing that for that moment because, I just have so much emotions going on. So when I catch myself doing that, I'll ask for permission. I was like, you know what? Can I just have some time, to let my emotions pass? Because whatever I answer you right now, it's not what I really want to answer you. Right? It's just.
But that would kind of interject for a sec, but that's so beautiful that you took the responsibility on yourself to say to Francis, can I have some time here to decompress, and then I'll get back to you. And then that's the clarity. Then you're still on track. You're still working together, even though you might need some time, or sometimes she might need some time to just kind of, chill out, get clear, because your emotions got, heightened through the conversation. Yeah.
Right.
And you bring a great piece, because how many, people watching this today, think of, starting a business, and the idea of renting a storefront property, where a window, you're in the center of the town, and you get all the computers, you get all the technology set up in the business, you do, the marketing, you get the telephones, you get the, all of that. You set everything up, you have this big grand opening sale, sign outside the window, and then you never show up. Do you think that business is going to be successful? We know that. It's not.
Right.
But look at our relationships, We kind of get things together, we get interested in someone, we decide, wow, this person's really for me. You may get married, and then oftentimes after that, things kind of cool out, and you kind of get to a place of you just expect it to just keep going the way it was. And then what happens? Things fall apart.
Right.
So you got to put time into it, and just like anything, like in a business or any aspect, our relationship is the most important part of our life if we choose to be in a relationship, because that's an investment that really affects all other situations. And it's the passion that you have at home is equal to the passion, and it kind of enhances your passion for work and things. And someone who doesn't believe me in that go, okay, here's two options. Go out and think about having a date with your partner, or consider having a date with a divorce attorney. Which one's going to entice you more? Because if one or the other is going to happen eventually, more than likely. So put time into it, and again, and have fun, and see and grow in your, like you're saying, a simple thing of taking a walk in the morning together. It doesn't have to be a lot of time, but just the quality of time, right?
Right. Yeah, and I love what you brought up about business, because I know for myself that the days that we have upset in our relationship is the day that I'm least productive in my business. I just can't get anything done that day. So all these emotional upset, right? It's I don't even want to, I don't even want to work, that day. So I can totally see how what goes on in our relationship makes a huge impact in my business and how productive I am and how much money that I make.